Test. There we go. Well, mic wasn't plugged in. So, hello again. Hello again. Well, so much for that. Someone plugged my mic out. Okay, great. So yeah, hi. As somewhat, well, announced yesterday, I'm gonna do a stream today. So welcome back. Welcome, Fishy. Nice to see you as always. Welcome, Blub Blub Blub. Glad you catch the stream today. Welcome, Patient Escape. And yeah, so didn't do much progress. Well, didn't do much progress in code the last few days. In fact, I did, or this week. In fact, I did negative progress because I realized I had a problem and had to erase everything and generate next step method. But we found a solution, or I found a solution rather. Well, I guess you guys gave me inspiration. So it's fair to say we. And yesterday I started to implement it. So let's continue doing that, shall we? So far we got all the actions generated. So step 1. Now we need step 2. Create all the dependencies. So the actions gonna need a method to generate dependencies based on a list of actions. And probably the factory as well. Yeah, they need to know where they are. Probably the action knows that the factory in the first place, maybe? Probably. No, not necessarily. Let's just pass it to factory for now. If we don't need it, we can remove it later. Well, actually, let's do it the other way around. If we don't pass it, if I need it, I'm gonna pass it. It's easy to add a parameter to a method. That's not a biggie. So the actions have to return or have to generate dependencies. And a dependency is either another action has to happen or must not happen. Or must not happen. So basically actions are looking at other actions. I could now either create 2 lists, like one list with actions this action depends on, and one list that with actions that would prevent this action from being activated. Or I could create another interface, call it dependency or something. I think that's better because it's more flexible. Right now I only see these two kinds of dependencies, but who knows? Maybe I get another dependency in the future. Also, I want the code for dependency resolution not being in the actions, especially because it probably has to be replicated. So yeah, the action basically will have to do 2 things. It will have to, well, 3 things really. It will have to generate dependencies. It will have to, no, 2 things. It will have to generate dependencies and will have to activate, so trigger itself or do whatever it's supposed to do. Probably want to do that independently later, so I'm gonna do some composition, but that's not too important when writing the interface. So we just have to worry about the dependencies for now. So let's just create another interface, call it dependencies. Actually, let's do it this way. Dependency. That's good. I mean, I could go more specific now and say the dependency always has an action and stuff like that, but I don't think that's the way to go here. in the interface. As I said, like if I would be sure that all dependencies will either be this action must happen or this action must not happen, then I could just not create an interface and implement it differently. So I rather keep this free of the implementation, basically, or independent of that idea. Yeah, just gonna leave it empty for now. Oh, Blob has to go to bed already. Well, sleep well. Oh, by the way, I usually like look. Okay, first of all, I read all the comments I get on YouTube, or I try to read all of them. I hope I don't miss any, but I don't think I do. But potentially I could miss replies to old threads. Basically, maybe I could change the notifications on those that I have to look into that. But usually I get all the comments, and I respond with a like if I read them, but don't really have anything to say about them. But I'm not actually sure if you get notifications about likes, because I don't think you actually do. So maybe I should change that. I just wanted to throw out that I actually read all the comments, and I usually like them, and I have read them, or if I like them, rather. So if I don't respond, it's probably because I didn't have much to say except for a thank you. But maybe I should change that now that I think about it, because as I said, I don't think you get notifications for likes. So. I don't know, but it feels weird to just spam all the videos with your own comments. So I mean, I could heart them. I'm not sure if you get a notification about that, but hearting is also, I don't want to heart every comment, so I've read, so that's, I don't know. Anyway, back to this. The action needs a new method. It's gonna return an enumerable of I dependencies, and it's gonna be called generate dependencies. Yeah, I think that's the right spelling. Should it be generate or create, by the way? I don't like create so much, but generate is longer. I like generating because it's like I don't know, what's the difference? Feels like generate fits better, but that's just a gut feeling. And I wonder if that gut feeling is founded on some proper difference. What's the difference? Oh, it's just like one of those generic sites. Is this actually going to be helpful? To bring into being, give rise to put into existence. That's pretty similar. Stack exchange, that's always good. Some slight differences. You don't generate a cake. Yeah, makes sense. Create means to make something from nothing. Ah, yeah, I think that's actually where I want to go with, where my gut feeling is coming from. Or to make something using a lot of creativity. A chef might create a new dish, but after it's been created, he might find himself making it every night. Ah. Generate can mean produce something through a series of steps prescribed by an algorithm, so if it's a pretty safe word for anything built by software. Okay. Button that said generate video might be emphasizing that the software will now make the video as was set up by the user, while a button that said create video might emphasize that the user is about to put the finishing touch on her creation. Yet make video is a viable option too. One might argue that make is the simplest word of the three, and it might therefore be apt for software that might be used by children. Making video has options of production, lights, camera, props, etc. Okay. Yeah, I think I still like generate. Like the thing is, I'm generating these dependencies based on the action. So Like it or based on other things. Like it's just like an algorithm. I think that's where, yeah, that fits pretty well. It's an algorithm, like it's a rule set basically, or an algorithm. No, it's an algorithm that's based on the inputs is generating outputs. It doesn't create outputs because it's generating based on the input. If that makes sense. Fishy writes, I'm lucky I can catch streams because of my perfect sleep schedule. It definitely needs a list of, or enumerable rather, of my actions. It might require the factory as well. Oh, we gotta see about that. Oh, we need it. Ah. Little tired. I don't want to drink Pepsi right now because I actually want to sleep tonight. That would be good. Not be super tired tomorrow. Well, then again, actually I don't have much motivation being not super tired tomorrow. Yeah, but I don't have to mess up my sleep schedule. Let's just see if I get, like the last time I was tired, or not the last time, but a few days ago when I started the stream I was tired. It just did go away while programming, so let's stick to it for the moment. So I think this is what I want. And now I want the factory. Basically I want step 2, so I should create a list of all dependencies. So how do I test this? I mean, I basically have to test that all actions are being called and all are being created or generated and all dependencies are being generated. If I do an extra test for that, I have to set up the mock in a way that it actually can generate dependencies. I have to open the door really quick. I need a little bit more fresh air, I think. Wow, Fishy slept from 17 to 21 o'clock. That's horrible. If it wasn't on purpose, that is. Which I assume it wasn't. That's a really weird time to sleep. Okay. Where was I? Testing. Should this be an extra test? Should it be the same test? Like the thing is, this has to happen as well. Like, why would I make this an extra test? I mean, just to see because it would allow to just see by the name of the test what actually broke. But I mean, the exception messages are pretty good, so just gonna put it in the same test. So we're gonna rename this a little bit. The next step, actions and depend and deep and then cease. Okay, now I have to somehow make those fake items return fake actions, which I then can check to return to the well, like I can then check that the method is being called, basically. Yeah, writes that. Fishy writes that FTL had an update. No, I didn't saw that. What are 7 ways to maximize misery? Sounds miserable. So I guess I'm gonna have to. I mean, can I do it with the mock? Let's see. Private. I don't need a private keyword. Everything is private. Well, not everything, but members are. Create fake item. Oh, I item. There we go. Fake item. Also, the brackets are wrong. What's your problem here? Without the new. Good achievements in FTL now. Okay. I felt like unlocking ships was pretty achievement-like already. But why? I would have imagined we had achievements prior to this. Why did they add this so late? Like, how many years has it been? Eight years? Well, not quite. 7.5. Well, 7 and a little bit. So what? New update? Community up? News? FTL Steam achievements. Today. Wow. You're late to the party. Japanese translation. A month ago. Interesting. Oh, and then over a year ago. There's more translations. Wait, Into the Breach is from 2018? Really? Holy shit, time flies. What is the advanced edition? Ooh, there was a big update 2014. Did I play that? I don't know. Might have. So they just made an update to just add achievements. That's it. Interesting. So how does this fake it easy thing work again? Call to item. Item dot generate actions. No. With any arguments. Returns. Returns. Fake. Think this would work? The thing is, it's not gonna help me to do that, I think. Why does this not work? Oh, it has to call. Yeah, by the list. I'm thinking about writing a helper because I hate this syntax. Writing a helper that allows me to create a list from a single item, but it would be an extension method on object, which is really awkward. This is not like this works. Like I could now do return item, and that will work, but it's not helping me. Obviously, I could put in more actions there to have a list actually. But the problem is that it's wait, can you say? Yeah, you can say new list, but that's longer than new array. So this is not helping because I don't have access to these actions when I call the create fake item method. So this is, I can't check them, I think. So I have to do this a little different. I could have like a fake factory that creates me a list of fakes or something. Fish is right. So you said yesterday how you wanted your general gameplay to be, so it's like FTL where you lose parts and after each encounter find more parts. Yeah, the general idea. Or one of the general ideas, like this one. I think FTL cross with Factorio. That's a little bit more FTL cross with Infinity. Well, it depends on how you implement it or how you, which like, it's more like Factorio than Infinite Factory because it's going to be about moving resources from A to B. But the gameplay style will still be more Infinifactory like the optimization style will be more similar to Infinifactory, I guess. Or that's the plan anyway. What is the easiest way to do this? I need to have access to them. So what I need is basically a list of items I can throw into the factory. Well, actually what I need is a factory to perform the test. So basically, how do you say that? Like there's this 3-step thing you do for tests, like assemble something, assert or something like that. How do you say that? I forgot. Like no, set up, execute, assert or something along those lines. And for the execute and the assert part, I need a factory, a list of actions, and a factory, a list of items, and a list of actions. Because I want to check that on all items, generate actions has been called. Actually, do I have to check that? I don't really need to check that because I can just check if all the actions have been called. Probably. I mean, I don't like the generate dependencies method on all the actions has been called. I don't really need to check. Actually, no, I don't need to check. I just have to make sure that the generate dependencies is being called with the list of all actions. don't need to check for this method being called. So I actually don't need the items. I just need a list of actions and a factory. I could still keep it in here so I see what actually failed. Yeah, I'm going to keep the test in here though. Yeah, I want to test it so if it fails, I can actually see what fails. Because if I only see the dependencies not being created, not being generated correctly, then I don't know what the issue is really. So yeah, we're going to keep that in. And then also check dependencies. So we need factory, item, and actions. So does the factory have a way to give me I mean, can give me the tiles. But no, I don't want to rely on the factory because that's the class I'm testing here. I mean, I could just make a method that returns a tuple, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's do factory. No, well, yeah, factory, not iFactory, because I'm testing the implementation here, not the interface. Factory, list of items. God damn, why I ordered? And list of actions. Create fakes. Basically, I need it. I start with the actions, I guess. Yeah. I need 4. We're gonna have 2 tiles. Every tile should have 2 actions. Wait, is there a better way? Just like an enumerable dot range? No. Repeat. There we go. You tried meteor fall. This one? Oh yeah, I played that on the mobile. Yeah, didn't like it, I think. I mean, I hate the art style for a start, but also the gameplay didn't really caught my attention, if I remember correctly. Okay, so now for every 2 actions, I want to create a tile, an item. How do I do that? Is there a good way of, like, is there a good link way of doing that? How do I... Is there a way, like, is there a good link method to basically, I guess, group them? Potentially will work. Group? But by what do I group? I mean, I can do it a little different. I can do actions, take 2. Actions, skip 2, select, actions, and then basically this now. Where this is actually just actions now. Oh wait, actions is a bad name here. No, it's not. It actually works, right? I think. Yeah, this actually works, but this is ugly. This is hard to read. It actually allows for doing that. Like it used to not be. I think that's a new C# 8 edition as well. I don't think that was possible in C# 7. Those are 2 different variables. But yeah, let's just call him A. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Need that exclamation mark, right? Yeah. I mean, that kind of works. I wonder if this could be written differently. Like, can you group by, or like, let's see. What does Google has to say about this? C#. Split enumerable in groups of 2. It's not a great description. So sublists. Select SI. Oh, is there a select overload with an index? Didn't you? Yeah, that's super ugly though. Extension method, partition. While enumerator, move next, yield, return next partition. Ooh, what? That's a neat solution. Like that's way too much code for what I need, but this is a good solution with using yield. Sweet, that's really good. Creating enumerations on the fly. That's some good shit here. I'm gonna upload this. Like this is, I don't know. I don't think it. I'm not gonna take that code and put it in my common like my util class, because yeah, the use case for this is way too limited. But it's a good solution. I like it. Unfortunately, you can't do it without extra methods because of the yield. Yeah, that's basically what I want. And I do the group thing as well. Like, you have to use select to get the index, and then group by with the index, and then get rid of the index. Ugh. An inverse select many, yeah. Oh, that's an even better yield solution, isn't it? But why? I have to compare those two. So he what does he do? He gets the animator, steps through it, and then yield returns the next partition by giving it the enumerator and calling that enumerator multiple times. Yeah, okay. And what does this one do? While source any, yield return source take chunk size, and then override source. Ooh, this is actually pretty good. Even better than the other one. It's not super efficient. Well, maybe. Why is this O of n squared? It's only going through the thing once, isn't it? Why is it not efficient? Oh, here. Ah, here, someone asks the same question. Source is replaced by a wrapped enumerable each time. Yeah, so taking elements from source goes through layers of skip. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it has multiple calls of skip. Oh yeah, that's a little ugly. I mean, you could call to list every time, but... Yeah, this is a bit better performance-wise, I guess. Because it saves the position. I mean, I could do something silly, create like an range, create a range of numbers, and then you skip on all the parts with the range, like skip on the original. But it's way too ugly. Like, this is way simpler and good enough for my current case. If I need more, I can still do that later. What is this one? I think it's basically doing the same thing. Lazy, no intermediate coping buffering, O of n. Okay, that sounds good. Should not be so quick with my upvotes. Especially because you cannot take them back as easily. What did he do? Ooh, that's pretty lengthy. Okay, that's some sanity check. Using an enumerator. While move next, remaining chunk size, remaining the current chunk, inner move next gleich equals, or not equals, is a new func bool. That's the check, okay. Yield return get chunk. Inner move next. Oh, he gives it the lambda so it doesn't have to copy the, yeah, that's clever. Basically, this works because of scope. Not scope. What's the word? What's the word? I think it's going to take the... captures the parameter, or the value of the parameter here. The variable. And it calls inner move next. Why is it calling inner move next? This code element skipped by an iterator. Oh. Minus minus remaining is greater 0 on and E move next. I'm not sure. Don't have to understand this completely right now though, but this looks like a good solution. Okay, so there's no easy way. Oops. So let's stick to this. I just like looking at people's link solutions for stuff. Sometimes I come up with good shit. But I can just stick to something simple here. So I'm just gonna create them by hand. Take the first two, skip the first two, take the other two. And then make all of them into, well, make those two chunks into items by using this. And now I'm gonna take the code up here actually. And create a factory. And now I can return factory items actions. Good. And now I can go var factory var back. Yeah, no, it's good. Items var actions create fakes. Okay, there I use create because it isn't based on some input. This is actually a local helper to this one. Like to hide those in a region. Oh yeah, can be static obviously. Can this be static as well? Should be. There we go. Ah, killed live unit testing again. So this should still succeed because not much changed. Oh. What's the exception? Session failed for the following call. So that means I'm not getting the same references back here for some reason. Why not? Isn't there an... That's weird. What is happening here? It says that the assertions are not, that the calls are not being found. Search and fate for the following call. Generate actions. Expect to find it once exactly, but no calls were made to the fake object. Which tells me that I'm looking at the wrong fake objects, probably. So, items being called by copied by value here or something. It's an array, but the thing is itself. I mean, yeah. Wait, I probably have to. Oh yeah. I see that problem. There we go. So the problem was that this was an enumeration, which is lazy and will be called like because of the select, and will be called every time items is being iterated. So I should probably to prevent issues like that. No, it's fine. So this is not called every. So in order to not call this every time items is enumerated, I'm going to call to list here to persisted ones, and then there will be the same objects in there anytime. I probably want to do the same thing here though, because if not, I'm going to run into the same issue as soon as I start testing the actions. Okay. Let's add the test for each. It's probably the same thing. Unit testing died again. Actions. Can probably just copy this and change. Dependencies. Okay, first step with any argument, but I actually make sure it's being called with the correct argument. So, do I do this again? I think there's a method for it. Like with arguments or something. No. Arguments. When arguments match, right? Arguments match. And now I can write Right, what does it take? An argument collection? I think I write it down. I think I have to do this again. Can I just do it in there? Maybe I can just do it here. What does it take? On enumerable dependency. Dependency. That matches. Yeah, that matches. And now I can write the predicate. Chuk. Let's go with this for a moment to see if the syntax is good. Apparently it's not. Cannot convert from generic enumerable dependency to... I need actions, not dependencies. I'm an idiot. Still not good. Does not contain definition for must have happened once exactly. Oh yeah, because there is a bracket missing. So. Something along those ways. And live unit testing broke again. Great. Yeah, it's not gonna succeed because the factory is not actually calling any of that yet. C# check. Add 2 enumerables have the same items. Don't I actually have one of those already? Or was that somewhere else? Has duplicates, has equal children here. D has equal children. Why does it not? Use Pion util. Missing a bracket, I think. There we go. Not too bad. Looks a little ugly. Okay, so test is set up. Now I have to make the factory do it. It should be fairly straightforward. So I have all the actions now, and I can now say dependencies is actions dot select action generate. What is actions here? Action. Wait. No, it's not. Select many. What? Set the wrong data type. What is action here now? Enumerable of action? Why is this a list of enumerable of actions? Ooh. Select many. Wait, select many is giving back in a. Oh, how do you flatten the select many? Is there a flatten method? No. Oh, so select many is not what I wanted to do. Is there? Do I still use select many? So basically, what I want to do is I have tiles, and every tiles will have or can have multiple items, and all those items will gonna generate multiple actions. And now I want a list of all the actions. So yeah, select many is I think correct because I make the tiles to every tile to a list of actions, and now I have to flatten them. So sharp select many flatten. I already wait. Did you select many to flatten? What? Select many chapters. Am I using select many wrong here? Right. Dum. This takes so long. There we go. So select many. Returns. God damn it, this is hard to read. An unremovable of 2 years old. So no, I select. So I had this correctly in mind. I have some misconception here. So like many should actually return an unremovable of actions, but it doesn't. So I did set up something wrong here. So usually select many is for exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would just do select. So select is returning enumerable of action. That's returning enumerable of enumerables already. Why? I have to do select many here as well, don't I? Is that the trick? That's the trick. There we go. Yeah, because that was select. I actually created a list of enumerables here already, and then those were flattened with the select many. But yeah, I have to flatten twice basically, and I only flattened once. So now I can do action, generate dependencies, and give it the actions. It should be good. Oh, it failed. Okay. It failed. For what reason? Searching for the following call. Generate dependencies. Expect to find it once exactly, but no calls were made to the fake object. Okay, so it's not going through all the actions apparently. Or I'm looking at the wrong actions again. But I listed them here, so that's not the issue. There's no call being made. So it's not that it's not matching this or whatever. It's just there's no call being made to action. So that's weird. Oh, yeah, no, it's not weird. It's the same reason I wrote to list up here. Which I now can actually get rid of. It's still red though. Generate dependencies. There is a typo there. Great. Expect to find once exactly, but found it 4 times among the calls. 4 times. That's interesting. First, I have to fix that typo. It's horrible. Dependencies. It's been called 4 times? Is it because Link is going through these things too many times? Is the counter going down now? No, I still finds it 4 times. Yeah, still. That didn't do anything. Why is it being called 4 times? It's actually interesting. Seems like it's calling the same fake object every time. But this is actually returning 4 unique ones, right? Let's actually check what this returns. We can just do it here, I guess. Debug. Not a lot of people watching. I think it's only fishy right now. But I feel like this is pretty boring to watch. It's hard to grasp the context and whatnot, and I think this is not that interesting to watch right now. I get that. So what is actions now? No, it's 4. Can you see that? You can't see that, right? Yeah, it's 4 times, but it's 4 times the same one. Shit. Okay, but you can see it here. Actions. So I made an object ID, which puts the $1 thingy behind the object in the watch window down here. And it put it behind all of them, so it's 4 times the same object. Are the items the same objects as well? No, those are actually different. Interesting. Okay, so that means I have to look at this code down here again. Actions. Repeat. A fake I action. Oh, because repeat is actually repeating the same thing and not creating a new one. Is there an overload that creates like a... No? Oh, god damn it. I need an overload that takes an action of repeat instead of... Like, not an action, like, not an I action, but like a C# action. So a lambda, basically, or delegate. that creates the thing every time. So is there no good way of doing that? And I can write a helper method for that. Would be fairly straightforward. Yeah, it creates a sequence that contains one repeated value. So yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it doesn't seem like there is an overload for that. There are different methods for this though. Range? No. They're like a... I mean, I can go... What I can do... Can write repeat null for dot select x to a fake object, or maybe not null but like 0. That works and completes the test. That's a little ugly though, isn't it? Basically, this creates an empty enumerable, not an empty, an enumerable with 4 times the 0, and then I just transform it to enumerable with this by completely ignoring the 0. So it's just there to seed the enumerable. This is really hacky though. Not hacky, but it looks ugly as fuck. I should at least put that in the helper method if there is no better way to do this. C# create enumerable by calling a method multiple times. Or repeat with delegate. Not quite. Yeah, basically. Or you could do it with range as well, obviously. Like, I could just write range 0 to 4, and it works as well. Doesn't really matter. Both are ugly, though. Both are super ugly. I think I'm just gonna write an... Oh, I can't write an overload. Fuck. Can't write an extension method to a static method. Yeah. It's not gonna work. This sucks. I guess we go with this. This is ugly as hell, but... Wonder if there's a better way to do that. Oh, there's a generic of... Oh no, this is hacky. Why? Does this work? What does he... How does he do it then? Func. My action. And then... No, this is dumb. Yeah, okay, what you could do is basically you do bar blah enumerable repeat fake eye action 4 times. And then select F2. You have to actually activate F. Like this. I cannot infer the type now, but that would work. Func action. Yeah, that actually works. Or I could actually probably write it shorter by just doing this. Yeah. Is that cleaner though than this one? It's way longer though. It's way longer. That to list upper overload? No. That takes an select basically. It would be nice to have a like I could write one, but I don't need it really. But would be nice. Maybe I write it at some point to have like a combination of select and to list basically. That would make sense. I think like have a transformation in a to list statement. So this actually works, but like this would work as well. And create 4 actions, but it's actually harder to read, I think, and you have like the double, like it's super verbose, super lengthy. You have the type twice here. It's not nice. It's not good. But I don't think there is a more elegant way to do this. He basically does the same thing here with range. Too bad. Okay, so this works though. So added I dependency and made factory generate next step call I action dot or action. Well, yeah, I action dot generate dependencies. Pretty tired thinking about actually ending the stream here. Now let's go one further, I think. Oh, why do I just go to bed? Now let's wrap this up here. I don't really like. I'm not super energetic right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up here. Let's just think about the next step now. So basically, I now did this part without any actual implementation, but I made sure that the factory method is actually doing this. So this is actually, yeah, the next step is actually a hard part. So this is actually going to be a little bit interesting. So yeah, gonna do that next time. So yeah, thanks Fishy for sticking around. And for everyone else who watches the VOD or was here earlier. I'm gonna go to bed, so thanks for watching, have fun, and see you next time.